Hey everyone, hope everything is going well. And I haven't done a video in a long time. There are reasons why I can't do that many videos for this channel, but I will explain at another time. But I did want to congratulate silver stackers, right? They were mocked, they were ridiculed. I was buying silver, all the way from, 35 to 50 over a decade ago during the hype. And I was buying on my way down. Should I have bought more in 2020 when it crashed to $12 an ounce? Yeah, I should have. Now, not a lot of people were selling it at $12 an ounce, especially for Eagles. You have to pay a huge premium. That's always been the case. You have to pay more than what the market is selling for. Right now, if you want to buy an ounce of Silver Eagles, you have to pay over what, $87 on AppMax, from my understanding. And that's crazy because silver now is at $79. This is Sunday morning, 0.67. All right. And it's up, what, almost 11% on Friday. Insane move. $8. Like you don't see that often. And a lot of people right now who are buying during those silver stacking days, on YouTube, they're starting to take some profits. Doesn't mean that we're at the top, but this does kind of feel like 2011, right before the Bin Laden raid, in air quotes. I do want to look at some charts now. I did talk about, I think, on a post on YouTube, I thought that silver would consolidate and then resume to the upside. No, I was wrong on that, but I wasn't, aggressively shorting. I wasn't, selling my Eagles. I did sell some Eagles the other day at a coin store. I have to pay taxes on that, but otherwise, I still have some silver left. And if it goes crazy to the upside in the next, couple of days or few months into 2026, I'm going to sell basically all of it. And I want to rebuy it if the whole economy crashes, which I do believe it's going to happen. And I'll get into that later on. But looking at just some charts here, 1.618 extension of the 2011-2020 measured move. This is from Jake W. That extension is 122.36. Not sure if we're going to get there in the next few months. David Hunter calls for a price target of $100. I do want to look at the RSI. RSI is a bit overheated. You can look at many time frames, but once it gets to this zany level, you usually tend to see a top. Okay, I'm not telling you to buy or sell. It's like, you know, my own thought process. Would I want to get in front of a freight train when it's going max speed? No. So, like any short sellers, like, good luck. Yeah, some of you are going to make money in the short sellers, but when is the entry point for that? The other thing is uh, what led up to the crash of silver in 2011 is the CME started to raise margins, and they have a right to do so. And they are raising the initial amount from, it's a 5,000 ounce contract, 22,000 to 25,000 new initial maintenance margin, okay? Or the margin requirement. So I'm just looking at that. If they start aggressively raising the margin price, that's going to have an impact on silver. And last thing a few things I wanted to mention, it's the end of the year, so you tend to see crazy volatility at the end of the year. Okay. And low volume and all of that combined. I mean, not everyone's trading. Let me just say that. And when you don't have a lot of people trading, you tend to see crazy moves. And there's also window dressing for hedge funds. So the next few days, moves could still be exaggerated. Doesn't mean that's going to be the trend for Q1. Q1, I believe the trend will be people going back into Bitcoin and selling the silver. Okay. I think I found this on Kobeisi report. He had this chart. He usually takes charts from people, so I don't know if this is the original chart. Someone on TradingView made this. But anyways, it's silver, the Bitcoin, and it hasn't been to these levels in the last few years. I'm not saying this is a trend line, but interesting. Buy Bitcoin, sell silver for Q1 of next year? Could be. Not telling you what to do. But, for all the silver stackers buying it at like $15 an ounce, $20 an ounce, yeah, I'm sure they're taking profits. Now, some of these high flying guys, hedge funds, these guys may just put on a trade, after a pullback and let it ride. Now, here's one thing though. If silver crashes down to like $50 sometime early next year, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes, to 100 before all of the asset prices start going down. And that's what I'm looking at. If it crashes hard, I may be buying some physical at that point. And it may not be a lot, but just for, a trade. I'm not going to play the futures market. It's too much leverage, but for this, hey, it's physical and you could always buy it with cash or, your own hard savings. So you don't have to worry about margin calls. People right now are dealing with margin calls. People financed their short positions with some of these futures brokers. Okay. Some of them are getting killed right now, putting trades on, in the 50s, thinking they were going higher. And then where you're at 79. If it goes to like 100, man, like those guys shorting, oh man, totally getting destroyed unless they have that capital. Anyways, let me know your thoughts. I'll talk to you later. Bye.